Thank you very much that I may present GUTEX wood fiber boards here during this event. I'm a civil engineer. I'm working with wood-based materials since the 90s. Wood fiber insulation came up in Germany in the new or at the millennium. So we have experience with insulated buildings, wood fiber buildings, for about 20 years now. First of all, here you see a small Google map. Where is GUTEX located? We are in the south of Germany, directly to the border to Switzerland, southern Black Forest. We get our resource from there, spruce, and we have a lot of carpentries in this region which are using our material. This is ideal under the aspect of sustainability, of course, but we like to spread our material also European-wide. GUTEX was found in 1920. It started with the production of energy, water-based energy, and this year we celebrate our jubilee, 85 years wood fiber boards. So it started in 1932. Today we are about 150 colleagues. The plant operates in 4 shifts, 7 days a week. Of course, we must work cost efficient, and therefore such a plant must run around the clock. First of all, I want to show you how are the boards produced. All starts with chips. You see them here. We are not producing them ourselves for dry process boards. We get them delivered from the carpentries around and the sawmills. These chips are cooked, then refined. We will see a picture later on, to fibers, and then these fibers are dried through a pipe dryer. Here you see from here wet contents to dry fiber. We have a pipe, so we can do this in an ongoing process. Then these dry fibers come to a cyclone to get rid of the dust, and then we add the necessary binding material. This is special for the dry process. We are able to produce boards with less raw density, but therefore we need a binding material. This is a polyurethane resin, which is brought to the fiber. Then this fiber is spread to a belt. We come to the sizing and curing unit. Damp goes through this fiber mat, and after a short process of 10 to 15 meter length, you have got a hard board, from the loose fiber mat to a hard board. Then of course the raw board must be cut, profiled, and brought to stock. Here are some impressions from the production, and here you see the special refine elements to make fibers out of the cooked chips. On the bottom you see the process, wood, and especially small diameters, which may not be used for solid wood cross sections. Then chips, we get them delivered from the sawmills. We make the fiber, and in the process we come to a hard board, or even to a flexible board. We will see this later on. Some other pictures. We had to take care that this is done automatically. Only a few colleagues have to guide this process. Wood fiber boards are very ecological and sustainable. I think we have done a lot to document this by environmental product declarations. We are Nature Plus certified, and on the top you see we may help to reduce the carbon footprint by taking out material from the natural circle and build in these materials, solid wood as wood fibers, to reduce our climate problem. The German carpentries have had a great idea, and I think this is especially interesting for CLT Elements 2. They made a website, carbonbank.de, CO2 in Germany, and there you can bring in objects you have realized, projects you have realized, and there is a carbon counter going on, and you can see how much carbon could be saved by realizing projects with wood-based products. We are ecological, and the wood fiber boards are not so old as other insulation materials. But of course we have standards according these wood fiber products are produced. We have the EN 13171. We already heard Brexit. I hope this standard will still be accepted in Britain for a long time span. We are CE marked, and so we rely on an industrial produced product. In future we will key mark our products. This is important. CE is just a sign from the manufacturer. If there is a key mark on the board, it renews the old German Ü-Zeichen. Then an external company has come and watched what we are declaring. So you as a customer get more sure that these values we document are reliable. The advantage of dry process boards. Wood fibers in history were produced in a wet process. These boards could not be produced over a thickness of 25 to 30 millimeters. So if you needed thicker boards, thermal boards, then you had to stick them together. Today we are able to produce the thickness up to 240 millimeters at GUTEX in one level, in one homogeneous thickness, single layer. You have seen the fibers are dried directly after they had been produced. This saves energy, up to 40% according to the wet process, where you dry the board itself. We have a binding material. This helps us that we produce high strength with lower density. This helps us to perform the lambda value. We get a better insulation material. And at least we have a binding material, yes. This takes about 4 to 5% content. Therefore, we still have 94 to 96% wood fiber. It's the same level as the wet board shows, because there you need the glue to stick together the lamellas. This paraffin mentioned here with 1.5%, we need this chemical content to make the boards repellent. If they should be, we will see this later on. For rigid underlays, for sarking boards, of course we need this repellent character, otherwise they would not protect the insulation below and the load-bearing construction. Some physical properties. We are very vapor permeable. Wood fiber boards have a mu value of about 3-4 in dry process, in the wet process 5. If you compare this to other wood-based materials, for example solid wood with a mu value of 40 or OSB with a mu value of 200, you see the difference. OSB is a vapor controlling material and belongs to the inside. Vapor open material belongs to the outside. So we have the possibility of vapor open constructions. With these materials we can combine them and have ideal sheathing material for the outside with wood fiber. Because of using a binder, we still have a high bending strength. This is not so much important for CLT, it has a surface, but for timber frame constructions we are able to bring these sheathing boards directly to the studs. There is no additional level like OSB or particle board needed. Again, this helps to be vapor open, vapor permeable. And of course we have a high thermal and humid storage capacity. So wood fiber insulation material reacts very slow on changes on the outside. If you have a climatic change, day, night, in spring and autumn, or you have a high sun influence at summertime, then the reaction on the inside of the construction is lower than with other materials, insulation materials. And of course, I already mentioned, for using these boards on the external side of a cross section, we need a water repellent character. Therefore we have special boards, we call them rigid underlays. Here again the possibility of storing energy. This means that we have a phase shifting of more than 10 hours in typical wood frame constructions, and we damp the amplitude. So the climatic reaction on the inside is much lower than the reaction on the outside. Wood fiber boards were developed over the last 25 years, and we have a lot of applications possible with these products. Here you see an overview. We have the roof section with rigid underlays or sacking boards. We have the vented facade. GUTEX Multiterm is a very important product, I think, here, especially also for the British market, together with CLT. We have floor insulation material. There our product GUTEX Thermosafe VD is well known. A very good and alternative material I want to show later on is a GUTEX Thermoflex, a flexible material in between rafters or in between studs, which you may combine with sacking boards and come to an alternative cross section even with CLT load bearing elements. When I prepared this presentation, I found a very nice website, Greenspec CO UK, and idea they already had the pictures I needed. I wanted to show you. I just want to show you two different concepts of going on with wood fiber insulation boards. The first concept is that you use rigid products. We have two preferred products. GUTEX Multiplex top as a very thin but water repellent sacking board, and below the GUTEX Thermosafe Homogen. It's a rigid wood fiber board which has a lower density, which is not water repellent, and therefore in a combination ideal to generate very good U values to reduce thermal conductivity. Very important, and we will see a video later on, is sucking board is not the same as sucking board. Not the material alone is relevant for the weather protection, especially the profiling of the board ceiling joints, yeah, is very relevant for the water tightness in the construction. You will see this later on. So first of all, we have a concept with rigid boards, and then the other possibility, if, for example, if I have to fulfill very low U values, we already heard passive house 0.1, there is a point where where the cost efficiency of the first construction may be not given, and then it may be better to combine a flexible material with an additional level of studs or rafters in combination with a sucking board. Ideal products for these for this concept are Camel Flex, a flexible material in between, and Ultratherm or multiplex top on the outside as a sucking board. Why is it so important to speak about the profiling? I think there are some manufacturers which are able to serve you with a dry process board today. These boards are very robust. You will see the water repellent character later on, but normally, because of the weight, these boards have a format, a small format, and so you have a lot of joints in the roof, especially in the roof. You have a weathering of these boards, and you must protect insulation material below and constructions below. So you have to think, how comes the water from top of the roof to the bottom? If you have a quite normal profiling of the boards, this will not be successful. And we spend a lot of time and tests to get such a result. A special profile where we can guarantee that no water comes in, although you have small gaps during application. And here you see this tongue and groove profiling, which we use for our sucking boards, multiplex top and Ultratherm. With these constructions, we follow the way of the GUTEX effect. We want to avoid humidity come into the construction or rain to come into the construction from the outside. We have to control the humidity coming from the inside, but at least we must realize a vapor permeable cross section to the outside. This makes wooden-based constructions sure, reliable over years. In Germany, in the Alpine regions, it is most important to have a strong mechanical resistance, especially against hail. We had a lot of German and Austrian roofs where the tiles were destroyed by the hail. They had no second water leading level below, and the roof section was destroyed. Hail diameters increase. We really had diameters of 3 to 5 centimeters in nature. Small regions around Stuttgart, around Munich, we had these hail disasters, and Switzerland is or has made a hail register where you may certify products against hail resistance. I don't know, or I heard from Niall, you are lucky you do not have these hail disasters up to now. We don't know what comes. Coal is green, we know. Mr. Trump said it. If we go on with this behavior, perhaps then you will have hail disasters in Britain too. I don't know. But I only wanted to show you we have a real high robustness against mechanical impacts. So this is not only important for hail corns. Just think about a rendered facade at schools, also when children play and the bicycle is thrown against the wall. Wood fiber boards are very robust, and in combination with a render system we also use this advantage. Here you see a diameter of 5 centimeters. It's a gun, and you have to go out of the room when this impact appears, and this is the result after I think 9 impacts. The board is still working. So we have two different products for this application sarking board. We have a thin multiplex top. It has a higher density, but we only serve it up to 35 millimeters. This makes sense because if you become higher, then you have a higher depth, then you may reduce the raw density, because reduced raw density means better lambda value, better insulation character of the board. And therefore we have a second program, our renovation board, GUTEX Ultratherm, 50 to 160 millimeters. You see the difference in density, you see the difference in the lambda value. If you have such a rigid underlay, a sarking board, then it is possible to change the material below. We have seen the pressure strong, the rigid, thermosafe homogene, up to very high thicknesses. I don't know how thick do you serve it, 160 millimeters?
Multi-term, the largest multi-term is 160 we've supplied so far.
And thermosafe homogene?
Any would know in the UK.
We have already done boards with 180 and 200, but nevertheless, typically you are using it up to 160 millimeters.
Yeah.
It has absorptive character, so it is not water repellent, but this is quite good to manage the humidity internal of the cross section. Yeah? This material may take humidity, spread it over via a big area, and then this humidity may go out by the vapor permeable character of the whole cross section. The alternative is Camel Flex. We are now producing this product also at the plant in Gutenberg in an additional line. There we use a textile binder, a so-called bicomponent fiber. It is mixed with a wood fiber. Then the mat, the loose mat, is also brought under thermal conditions, and the external phase of this Bicomponentenfaser reacts and sticks the wood fibers together, and this board remains flexible, so you can press it and it ideal fits the hollow space in between rafters or studs. It also has a absorptive character. It's mounted like this. You see, it's not a board, it's a mat. Yeah, it's flexible, maybe easily cut and brought in. The same philosophy may be used for the facade. At GUTEX in Germany, we really have a good market entrance with our render system, GUTEX Thermowall. This is not so relevant at UK. You prefer to build up ventilated facades. The German customers also like rendered facades. You prefer brick walls, I think. And this is possible with a ventilated facade. Just to show the possibilities we have with CLT, ventilated facade, rendered facade, we have different constructions possible. They are all documented in our brochures. There you can find technical values and make a pre-decision what you would prefer. GUTEX Multiterm is a very interesting product, like Ultratherm and Multiplex Stop, water repellent, but not profiled with this special profile we have seen for the roof section. Multiterm is a facade product. It covers Camel Flex with a frame construction or thermosafe homogen as a rigid wood fiber board. It is very efficient to do this insulation, as you have already seen. Very important, thermosafe homogen is stiff enough to bring in the screws Niall already mentioned, because if you see this under mechanical aspects, a virtual framework may be done, but then you need a pressure strong insulation material. Our boards, thermosafe homogen, Ultratherm, are as strong as the Heco screws need. This is a possibility to bring on a weather sheathing ventilated. If you want to use a flexible material, it's also possible to build this additional frame area with I-joists, ideal material to avoid coat bridges. And then you have to take care that you bring in additional boards just to make a rectangular cross-section before you bring in the flex material. Otherwise you would not fit this hollow cross-section because of the flange material. Yeah? Between flange and stud there is a hollow area otherwise. Another possibility to bring in insulation material when you have such a stiff construction, the big advantage of an additional stud is you get stiffness. If you think about 30-35 centimeters of insulation thickness, you also should think about the stiffness of the whole construction. And therefore I prefer studs to realize such thicknesses. If you are so thick, then perhaps instead of flex another material is interesting, a loose wood fiber, thermofiber. It may be blown in after the sheathing board has been mounted. A lot of prefab house industry in Germany now start to build up their construction in this way. Every type of weather sheathing is possible, also bricks, but also render facade. You are free to choose what the customer wants. We have combined these recommendations in a brochure, construction recommendations. You can get it by Ecological Building, and you see there you will find Tabellen with the technical values, U value, and of course these documented cross sections work under physical aspect. We come to the summary. The use of wood fiber products had a very rapid and positive development in the German-speaking regions, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Really in the last 2 decades we had an explosion, and additional manufacturers, of course. Wood fiber, rendered wood fiber, for example, in the facade has an amount of 2.5 million square meters a year, 5 to 7% of the whole render system market. growing. The resource wood, the production process and the product characteristics show a sustainable, ecological and also physical well character. I'm a technician, I want arguments with technical background, and I think we can really stay behind our product. Wood fibers products are ideal concerning modern timber constructions, this vapor permeability character, and we are able to serve load-bearing constructions without chemical wood preservation. Germany, there is a standard which allows you to avoid any chemical wood protection if you are vapor open. Problem solutions are important. We have established systems. We have standardized construction in the market. Very important, you need trained craftsmen, otherwise problems will occur. We need quality. If you work with wood, the quality must be ensured. Solid wood and wood-based insulation material is easy and comfortable to handle, and very special for the end customer. It guarantees a well-living climate. Nobody wants to live in a brick-based house after living in a wood-based house, I'm sure. We want a permanent exchange of professional informations with the customers. So my team in Germany waits for your calls to find new solutions, the right proper solutions for the market. And of course we have very useful and reliable partners like Nile and Ecological Building Systems for the UK market. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you will get the Black Forest in your house.